We've got a special guest on today, I believe.
Part of our plan, to be honest, is having no effing plan.
Qualifications, badges, courses, where are you on the coaching?
I've done absolutely cool. I looked at him and said, why is all your team wearing gloves? So we've got Barbara who works in our T-bar.
Yeah.
She's going to do the badges. Yeah. If you're not working next season, would you take that one game?
One game.
Would you think about that?
Welcome. Thank you for joining us for another episode of No Tippy Tappy Football, brought to you by William Hill. And before we go on and introduce our guest today, I just want to say thank you, because last week, for the first time, I said at the start, please subscribe. And then apparently loads of you did, because I asked you to.
Go on,
so
Nat.
that's nice, isn't it, Sam?
So I'll ask this time.
Yes,
Please
you
subscribe.
ask. Yes.
What are we up to now then?
22,000 on
22,000. Well, I'm glad everybody's enjoying what we're doing. And let's hopefully today, I'm sure it's going to be a very exciting podcast, because we've got a special guest on today, I believe.
We very much have. We're very excited. Right, Sam, give it the intro.
Well, I obviously don't know him that well, but I've heard about him. But somebody who owns a football club and has built a football club, but also manages his own football club as well, is a great privilege to be sat here with him today, listening to his story. So, Marc, it's a pleasure to have you. I hope you enjoy it.
No, thanks for asking me on,
Very
Sam. It's good to meet a football manager better than me.
Well, I believe your game got called off at York, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, last minute call off. They were desperate to play us because we got battered on Saturday. So they had all the fans out there with hair dryers on the pitch. And alas, it was no good. So they called it off last minute, and great inconvenience to us. But there you go.
Sure.
I'd love to get into that as well. So Marc White, owner, manager, founder of Dorking. You are for anyone that doesn't know, you're in the National League.
Yeah.
We'll get into your history, but you say there that causes great inconvenience to you because you're a part-time club in the National League. So what is the inconvenience that causes you?
Well, a game like that, yeah, we're 2 mornings a week. So the players would have to take a day off work, essentially, to go to the game, to then have to rearrange another day off work to go to the rearranged game. So that's the type of thing that's can be a problem. But it's what it is. Is what it is. Not ideal.
How difficult it is for your players to negotiate a day off work? Have some packed in and said they just don't let me keep having a day off to play me the game that I love, or most of the employees are obviously considerate to
mix and match. Yeah, a few of them now just doing their football mainly. A few of them are sort of like torn because the thing is, because we've come through so many promotions,
yeah,
they've just got day jobs, and some of them have got actually good careers, but they're really good footballers too. So they're like, oh, do I sort of commit myself to this? But they're also used to earning 2 incomes, and so it's a little bit messy, to be honest, because what I don't like doing is I'm quite loyal, so I don't like getting rid of players. So I'll kind of stick with boys. We've got boys that have been at our place for 7, 8, 9 years.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that have come through all the leagues.
What a great job you're doing there when you're making somebody feel so good and you're keeping them moving. And obviously lots of footballers at every level want to try and improve the level that they're playing at. So to be able to keep them because of the loyalty, because of what you do for them, is fantastic. Because most of the players today jump ship. I mean, I know my son managed at semi-pro level, but I mean, they jumped ship all the time. As soon as somebody offered them a tenner more, they were off. You know what I mean? It was like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, full march to you.
Yeah, thanks.
So, give us the history then. Take us all the way back. When did it start? Could you explain it in your own words?
Well, I was kind of like a Wimbledon fan, and old Wimbledon, and we just got a little bit like bored of going to the matches and that, and we just said, should we start our own side and just stop going Premier League and just have a bit of fun? And we searched on the internet. I mean, I don't even Google what's about. Do you know what I mean? We searched on the internet and found this league to play in, Crawley District League. It was called.
Oh right, okay,
yeah. And it was it's the very lowest possible level of football. So step 17 or something it is, wow. Right? So, yeah, we worked out the number. We got a kit off the local pub, and we used to pay a £5 a week, rented a pitch for 50 quid. And I was saying, I remember being in my mate's basement, and he was filling in this form for the league, and he goes, "What are we going to call it?" As I was walking up the stairs, and I said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, Dorking something." I said, "Got to be Dorking something," and he just shouted up, "What, Wanderers?" I went, "Yeah, that'll do," and he just put it on the form, and that was it. That was it. So that's how it began, and yeah, it was just a fun side. It was like, social drinking, going out on the Friday.
Is it still just as much fun though, Mark? That's what I want to know.
It is.
It is. Well, that's
it is
pleasure.
As much fun. Because I think obviously all the time I'm running it, we always sort of retain that level of fun as much as we can. Yeah. I mean, even last season, when our celebrations are probably bigger than most. And, we still do things that's an important culture.
A bit like Wimbledon stuff in there then, is there, that you...
Yeah.
Crazy gang.
But that crazy. I mean,
I mean, there is. I mean, ironic probably more than planned, but there is that us and them. Because we always have to be the underdog. To have a team that's come from having 0 supporters.
Yeah.
We have to always be the underdog in my eyes, because it's been a difficult task. It continues to be, but yeah, there's loads of antics. There's loads of breaking the rules. There's loads of not conforming, but we I guess our
would you not say bend it rather than break it?
Yeah, exactly.
Bend the rules, you don't break them.
Bend the rules, or sometimes break them, and then
I'll try my best. Yeah. I'll try my best.
No, but it's sometimes good to break them and then tell them 2 years later that you broke them.
Oh right, they haven't caught you out then. So
exactly. Yeah, but just to annoy them. But we've sort of we're advocates for, I don't know, real football, if you like, keeping it, because coming through all them leagues, you see all these volunteers and these people that just live, sleep and breathe football, and, real hospitable. So we've kind of advocates for and I think what people like about us is that we try to keep it real, if that's the right phrase, and not get sucked into that, corporate
so
sort of. So
you've got a real community in your team.
Yeah.
Have you got that same community in your fans, in terms of the people who support you, like,
very much
come along and
we've got this really phenomenal cult following internationally, if I'm honest with you, that's just come out of nowhere. There was a guy that came down about 4 years ago and said, "Oh, I've heard you lot are a laugh. Can I come and follow you for the day recording you?" And I just said, "Yeah, whatever." And then he stuck about and he's done a YouTube series on it, Bunch of Amateurs it's called. And now at every game, it's like a tourist spot. Like in our last game, we played Oldham Athletic at home. We had, honestly, I have to touch them and question them, right? Where they go, "Mark, do you mind going to the bar? Because there's 2 families from Australia that have come to the game." And I'm like, "Well, they can't come to the game." No. Right? Yeah. No, they've just come to see you and watch Dorking. He goes, "Remember, I emailed you the other week." I said, "Oh, yeah. So I went up there. There's 2 families from Australia. There's a father and son from New Zealand that have come to watch us play Oldham Athletic." So my point is this kind of I don't know, I guess you could call it not give a shit mindset, this refreshing sort of approach has encapsulated people and that helps us grow.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I watched some of it on YouTube. It's very funny. The voiceover guy is very, very funny.
Richard, he's great.
It's dry as anything. It's really, really good. It's easy to see why people have fallen in love with you. And when you talk about the real football, it's easy. I really very much enjoy watching league football because it feels real. So you're all the way down there in the 17th tier.
Yeah.
Then what happens? So you and your mates you're all right. You're doing better. Yeah. How does it keep going and going and going?
I know it's such a good question, isn't it? I know. I don't. It's hard to explain. We just sort of won our first couple of leagues because the lads were young and fitter than all the sort of park footballers, and then it was almost just an appetite for it, really. Just
enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Love for it.
The will, to get there and want to do well and enjoy the environment, so you go out and play better.
Yeah, and then with that winning came this, celebrating and this kind of great, wake up every day, everything's brilliant, and I guess we just wanted more of that, and it really did just grow out of nowhere. I remember the first time they said, "Right, look, 4 promotions in, we've had 12 in 24 years, and 4 promotions in, they said, right, you need a rope to put round your pitch. That's the net. That was the first rule. That was the first rule. So we had to ask a guy
not a wall, a rope.
A rope. Yeah, we had to ask a guy. Some old boy gave us a rope. He said, "Here you go. Put a little flag up saying it's my rope." We had no supporters, none. And then it went from there to you need like one path. You need two paths. You need two changing rooms, officials' rooms. A 50-man stand, 100-man stand, floodlights.
That's just to get to the next league.
Yeah. So you have to constantly grow the infrastructure as you go along. I mean, even last season, we got promoted again 18 months ago. We had to build a new away ends. It's £500,000. It weren't a £300 rope. So as we've gone through the leagues, it's just been, so we've always been trying to find a way to be successful on the field and off the field financially as well. It is really tough. And part of our plan, to be honest, is having no effing plan. We've just gone along with it. And we've just found a way.
It'll work out, yeah. It'll work. Did the FA give you some, every time you go up, is there a pot of FA money to support the building of like the...
Yeah. In fairness to the Premier League, they don't promote it really well. Premier League fund Football Foundation.
Yeah.
And
does the lottery not put money in there now anymore? Is that finished?
Yeah, they do in certain areas. They certainly did during COVID.
Grassroots football and stuff like that. Yeah,
they do. But Premier League put a load of money that way. They don't really talk about it for some reason, but yeah, if you there's something called a stadium improvement fund. So if you get promoted, you can then get pretty much 60% of what you're doing funded. So there is money available, but it's still a tough old gig. Because obviously on the field, you've got to pay the players more money. We didn't pay anyone for donkey's years. I remember the first striker that I said, listen, I said, Smithy, I'm going to give you 20 quid. Right, but what you're not going to do, Smithy, is tell them you're getting 20 quid, right?
And how long did that last?
Well, yeah. Before the centre half said, "Can I get 20 quid?" Yeah, but it was like that because we had no money.
Centre half's tenner in it.
Yeah, so it goes
centre
back.
forward 20 quid. Centre half's got to be a tenner. You know what I mean?
So how have you learned? Like, I guess so. Is that it's just the attitude? You to being the owner of a football club, are you just learning as you go? You're finding out things as you go. Like, how I have no idea. Like this, how you would go and know how to do it all.
Yeah, it's just piecing it together as we go along, really. Got other people around me now that are really supportive and have been there a few years now that really help us on the way. But it is just finding out as you go along. So there's very a rich man gone skint from running a football club. All over the world. I read one the other week about a guy that just said he's put all his money into a club in our league, actually, and he just said, look, I've done what I can do. I've lost my money here, and I thought I was better than that. But, so it's a tough gig. It's a tough gig, and we're just trying to fathom it as we go along.
Yeah, they get sucked in, don't they? And I think that some people, the passion of football, they end up ignoring the business.
Yeah.
So they made the money, and then they got involved in football, and then the football overtook the whole life nearly.
Yeah.
And they ignored the business. Then all of a sudden the business goes under. There's no money for the football left. And in the end,
that's exactly right. Yeah, exactly right.
I've seen that, with chairmen that have come in when chairmen used to be locals. So when I was playing that, the people who were owning the football club were the local businessmen, like you mean.
Yeah.
And I've seen them struggle and seen them go under because of the passion for the football club has get them to ignore their own business. Their own business has started to struggle, and then they've lost everything. Like,
you see a lot of that even now. But that's what it's like. You'll get beat. You'll be doing a P&L during the day and on an Excel spreadsheet, and you'll be going, right, we need to be sensible here. Susan and the T-bar's getting £1 less, player budget, we're going to put some out on loan. You get beat 2-0, you get to bed, you wake up next day and go, I'm signing a striker. and you just do away with all rationale, all logic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All logic gone because you're thinking, we want to win. Yeah. That's how it is.
That is football, though, isn't it? That's like football fans as well. One minute you hate it, you're like, manager out, and then the next minute you're like, it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
That is football.
That is what it is. It's a passion project.
Yeah.
And it's a great point. It's really hard to legislate any common sense with outcomes because they cross over. And there's many an intelligent person, as you say there, that goes skin in football.
Absolutely. And then, unfortunately, there's a lot of the others as well where, because of the regulations, where they don't scrutinise them in the league, they don't scrutinise them too much. You've got the ones that come in who actually make money at the football club, leave it destitute, and move on.
Yeah,
like you mean. So, You know, Bury suffered that
Yeah.
up here recently. Now they've just got the ground back and
Yeah.
just started in the lower leagues. Bolton was one day off doing the same and just got rescued just in time. And that was only through the goodness of a lot of people who love Bolton Wanderers writing off the debt for them to carry on, you know what I mean? So there's a big balance between the scrutiny of a new owner
Yeah.
and whether he's financially capable or whether he's a bit of a dodgy character, should I
Charlatan,
say?
yeah.
You know
See,
what I
he was
mean?
picking his words carefully there. Did you
I
know?
know.
Yeah,
I did, yeah.
I saw that. When did you become the manager? So at what point did you and your group of mates go, right, who's going to be the one that's in charge here?
Well, no, it was me from day one. So I just said, I'm going to run it.
I mean, we only met him for an hour. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just took over really, and I was playing, and then sort of I think 6-7 years in, when I realised I couldn't really have a go at him because I weren't as good as him, maybe I've packed it in, and I just I really enjoyed the management bit, and I think you do. I think a lot of ex-players, they really they sit there thinking, you know, they really condemn the day they're going to quit. They're scared to quit playing football, but the minute they do and they go into management, I think you then love it. So I loved it from day one, really.
There's been a lot of talk. Obviously, I've heard when it's around you, and I've heard you talk about it, about these coaching badges, the coaching badges that you don't have. And I want to get your and Sam's opinion on that. But first of all, Sam, could you just explain for anybody that doesn't know about the coaching badges, about what managers have to be allowed to manage in the football leagues?
Yeah. So the ultimate license is a pro license, which is an invitation. It's not very difficult to get on it, to be honest with you, but it should be. They actually qualify far too many, and there's not enough jobs for them. So they can spend thousands of pounds on the pro license. It takes over 3-4 years now. It's not full time, obviously. It's sort of part time as you do it, and then you're capable of managing any team in the world. Then under that, there's the levels. I think it's 3 levels now, and you can still manage. I think in the EFL, but most people are trying to get the pro license and to do that. Like you mean, I think that the difficulty is, even with the pro license, you've got to keep involved in the game and you've got to keep up your CPDs. So if you're not working, you have to do so many hours on football a year to keep your pro license, like you mean. So obviously it's throughout Europe and throughout the world. So we caught up in the end. It can make life very difficult if in the lower divisions they're asking for a license to coach. But I mean, I have to say it was a necessity in academies, because when I started running academies, when I finished playing, we ran academies on volunteers, which is so wrong. The volunteers were fantastic, by the way, were brilliant. A lot of them were school teachers as well, and people who love football but didn't have any qualifications to coach. So now that's not the case in academies. But anywhere lower than that, I'm not so sure that you need anything, as long as you've got the enthusiasm and the desire to help run a football team. Now, when we talk about, being a coach or whatever it is, if they take it that far, we've got millions of kids every weekend playing football on volunteers. Mm-hmm. My grandson plays for Turton. Turton is run by my nephew Marc and my son's mate Pete, and they run under 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s, and seniors, and that's pure amateur, and they have to find, I don't know, 500, 400,000 a year or something to run the whole thing, keeping all those teams going and all those kids going out on a Sunday playing on council disgraceful pitches. And I mean absolute disgraceful pitches the council provide in this country. I travel abroad a lot and look at the facilities, and it's just, considering what we are supposed to be, the facilities that we provide for our youngsters. And of course, we don't get. I'm babbling on again here. Sorry, Mark, but
Not babbling.
they don't get it. They don't get it at school anymore.
So what coaching have you done? What coaching qualifications, badges, courses? Where are you on the coaching?
I've done absolutely fuck all.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing. No.
He doesn't need to though, does he?
No,
because he's proven
Clearly.
it. He's proven.
Yeah,
He's
no.
proven that he
No.
doesn't need to, unless he wants to
Yeah.
get in the league, and then maybe there might be a restriction. If you
Yeah,
get in the
this is
league.
it. No, that's where it come about.
Yeah.
That's where it came about. But obviously, I understand fully that people want to better themselves and qualify for certain levels, and especially when it comes to kids and all the safeguarding and everything
absolutely,
around
yeah.
it. But no, I didn't like the theme of if you've not got something, you can't be something, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's the bit I sort of spoke about. And if in the event we ever get near promotion to the EFL, I'll definitely not be doing any badges to be the manager.
It's easy to
even
get
though
round,
that is the
Mark.
rule.
It's easy to get around, man, because you just have to employ one that's got one.
We've done it. We've sorted it. So we've got Barbara who works in our T-bar.
Yeah.
She's going to do the badges. Yeah. And she's going to turn
I
up.
like them, man.
She's going to turn up in
He's
a fucking
brilliant.
penny for every single session. And then when we're having the programme, pictured as the manager, she's going to be like hanging out of her hatch. She'll be in the hatch like that.
Oh, brilliant.
And that is definitely what we'll do. And
I need to get promoted.
Yeah, and I would just be named as the assistant, whatever.
The rebel, you'll be named after.
Yeah, that's it.
So what can we do to help you? How can we help Dorking so that we can get
promoted?
Yes, because
yeah.
we all want to see this.
Well, yeah, I mean, on our track record, we'll find a way to get promoted somehow at some point, but it could be a couple of years.
Nobody has to do a proper documentary on you yet.
We've had a few things,
Like
yeah.
a Netflix or a.
Yeah, I've got a guy, a couple of people want to do Netflix, but I'm not. I like the authenticity of the whole stuff we do on YouTube and that, because I don't personally like the me being me and having rows to supporters, which, by the way, I've been doing for donkey's years, because I come from an area where you don't take crap, and I was getting sent. I remember I poked a bloke in the eye, took his glasses off and poked him in the eye once when we scored once at Arundel Football Club in the County League, and he was winding me up all game. Do you know what I mean? And where we came from, like, we didn't have this fucking handbags.
Yeah.
It was like, we're gonna have a. We don't get involved in trouble, but the point is, I've gone off on a tangent now.
This is why Sam likes you, because this is exactly what Sam does. I'm just going to sit back.
Yeah, but I can't remember what we were talking about. But what was we saying?
I can't even remember. But I like this story.
Yeah.
What happened?
We got from coaching badges to
Yeah.
tea lady turned up into a pin.
Oh, documentary.
Documentary.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, the Netflix. Yeah, there's been loads of little things like that and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like the story's still going on, so we'll sort of show what's there. But people love it. I get people, honestly, everywhere I go. My wife's not been to football in 20 years, but she started going again because she fucking loves you telling refs to fuck off. She thinks it's amazing. She thinks it's brilliant that you wind the opposition fans up when you score, because when they give you shit, you give it them back, and like that kind of So. Yeah, I kind of feel like we're happy just going along and doing our thing and not really worried about that stuff.
My dad was so excited when I told him you were on this show. And my dad is a lifelong football supporter. He's where I get it from. He pretty much only watches the non-league these days.
Yeah.
He goes to Warrington Rylands a lot. He goes to Altrincham. And he just loves football. And I think he was so excited because you're a football. You just love football.
Yeah.
I think that's what he sees.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there who want to preserve football as well. Do you know what I mean? The highest level it's just kiboshed all over the place with VAR and all these crazy things going on. The money in the game at times puts people off, but the football is obviously it's a people's game, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's your dad, and it's all of us that have been brought up with it. The one common theme every single person in football's got that plays it. They probably sat in a council changing room, covered in mud on a crap pitch. So everyone's got that sort of football spirit burning, and I think it resonates. So we definitely want to try and keep the game real and be a thorn in the side of people that don't, and that's why I've got a well-known referee advisory service that I offer free of charge.
Tell us about it.
Well, no, it's what it is on the tin, Natalie. Do you know what I mean? So you before the game, I'll have a briefing with them and let them know what I'm expecting. And then I'll let them know after the game what I'm expecting. And I used to let them know during the game what I was getting, but then they started giving out fucking reds and yellows like confetti. So I've had to basically tune it down a bit. But, I want to be a significant thorn on their side positively. I'm passionate about the game, genuinely. And there's a massive shortage of referees at the lower level. So where we started at step 17, you'd probably have to be now, fast forward 24 years, you probably now have to be playing at least for 4 years before you even got a ref. That's the shortage in that time. And
so, we talk about refs. What about, because I obviously watch my grandson play and I watch my son play. And what about linesmen when what are they called now? Not called linesmen now. Referees, assistants.
Yeah.
They're still linesmen for me, or lines person, should I say?
Yeah,
I'm all right with linesmen.
And then they put they're from the opposition.
The club linesman,
they,
yeah.
They put the flag up for offside,
and
he's like 6 yards onside, like you mean, because they don't want him to score.
Honestly,
you talk about causing a row.
There used to be a club in our league, New Haven, and you used to have club linesmen for many years, and everyone knew this one linesman, this club. He was worth like 10 points a year to them.
Yeah.
This guy, but he wasn't just brutal with cheating. When you said whatever you said to him, he'd literally, when the ref was going that way, he'd look at you and go like that, right? He'd literally look at you and go,
For the podcast listeners, that was a middle finger.
Yeah, sorry, he'd stick his fingers up at you. But it is. I don't know, it's funny. I guess you could argue it's funny, that sort of like thing.
But that's why everybody gets so angry and frustrated, don't they? Like, it doesn't matter what level you're at. I mean, but as long as in the end, my grandson's team scored a penalty in the last minute, and I'm positive that the referee gave him a penalty because the opposition manager was giving him so much stick. I think the referee got fed up and thought, "Sod you, bosh," like you mean.
I bet, yeah.
But it is a genuine serious problem, though. Like I say, my son's 6 and he plays in a team on a Sunday, and we had at the end of last year the manager of the other under-6 team ran onto the pitch and faced up to the referee.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's under-6s.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Good God, just let them have football. It's under-7s. My son is 6. It's under-7s. Just let them have a good. And he was just an old man who was just doing them. It's a favour. What do you get? 20 quid or something to referee a game? Please excuse me, I just want to stop this episode quickly because Big Sam and I just want to say a huge thank you to you for supporting No Tippy Tappy Football, whether you are listening or watching or doing both. Sam and I absolutely love doing this podcast and we couldn't do it without you. So take a second, please, and subscribe or follow wherever you are watching or listening to us. We're also on Twitter, No Tippy Tappy Football, and we have our own YouTube channel. I know everybody says it, but it really would mean a lot to us, and it means that we can keep getting bigger and better guests the more followers and the more subscribers we have. And then you can go and tell all your mates that you've done Big Sam a favour. So thank you for listening. So you're passionate about refereeing, you're passionate about the real side of football. Are you passionate about the entertainment side of football, or is that just you?
Yeah, that is just my character, really, to be honest. So I'm a bit uncomfortable in these situations, if I'm honest with you, because I've always been the lively one and the outspoken one and the fun one, etc. So that is just me, if I'm honest with you. But yeah.
You've had a few moments as well, though, haven't you? I'd like to say, like, fun touchline moments.
Oh, yes,
There was what was the one? The Swansea defender
where where he rolled over and screamed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and I'm right. He's on the floor there. I'm in the box, and he and I started laughing. You know what I mean? So he gets up and confronts me, and now I'm laughing in his face, like you mean. Like,
I remember this. Really, brilliant. Yeah,
really, because I'm go and punch me, like, because if he gets him sent off, that's great for us, isn't it? Like,
perfect. Yeah.
So I go in the press conference after, and I'm just in the press conference. I go, Sam, have you seen what's happened? And I go, no, what's happened? He said, oh, it's gone viral. I said, what do you mean gone viral? He said, oh, that laughing they did with the. So straight away, but before the end of the game, it's like everywhere, like you mean. So it's great fun it was. I mean, it was obviously one of those reactions you just get instantly. You decide that's what you're going to do, like I mean, and see where you go with it, like I mean. But it was all about the fact that if the manager heard me scream when I played, I probably wouldn't be allowed to play the next game. He'd probably say, "You soft beggar, forget you
Yeah.
have a week out." Because you don't want a soft centre ass squealing when you go down like a baby.
This is
You
it,
know what I
mate. Yeah, I'm on your team on this one. I won't name his name, a really old, similar head to you in terms of his career in the management dugout not so long ago. I looked at him and said his name, and I said, "Why is all your team wearing gloves?" And I said, why do you keep letting these boys fall over? I said, "What's happened to you?" Do you know what I mean? I said, where did it all go wrong? Like, there ain't no one on my team. When new players join, the other boys warn them. They go, "Listen, whatever they give them like a protocol. Whatever you do, don't wear a bandana, gloves, undergarments." It like you're literally like, you know. So,
well, simply with the early managers I had, it was a centre half. You couldn't wear long sleeves in the winter.
Oh, right, brilliant, yeah.
Never mind gloves.
Yeah.
Who are you, softy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Show your centre forward just how tough you are, because you're out there with short sleeves on, like, you know, even though your fingers are dropping off. You know what I mean?
You're not showing it,
cold,
though.
you know,
Yeah.
not showing it. It's like when you got hurt. You weren't supposed to show that you'd got your teeth and overcome it. That was all about the culture then. Like, I mean, obviously it's changed now. Whether you say it's changed for the better or not, I can dispute greatly. But it's the way the world has gone, isn't it? It's not just football; it's the way everything's gone in terms of how soft it's become.
Yeah, let's hope it turns back round.
Well, yeah, you're doing your part.
Yeah, one man crusade.
One man crusade.
Yeah.
For footballers not to wear gloves.
Yeah, gloves and hairbands.
Hairbands.
Earrings.
Oh, earrings.
Yeah.
What did you think of Marcus Rashford? Did you see it?
What, you had an earring in?
He was wearing a dangly earring that I've seen described on social media as
I thought
Pat
you weren't allowed
to. in the warm-up. But it was in the warm-up.
Yeah, pathetic, completely pathetic on another level. And I tell you what, the only thing more pathetic is a manager for letting him wear it, because I'd have ripped that out of his ear. I said, what, just, you're fucking coming to football. What are you trying to do? Trying to get some attention, maybe, I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, I think at the moment, Marcus Rashford needs to take it easy because of his unfortunate, for Man and himself, his lack of form again.
Got a goal at the weekend, didn't he? Got a goal.
It was a good goal, but it wasn't the performance. A goal's a goal, but the game's played for, the ball's in play for about 60 minutes, Natalie, you know what I mean? So, but there wasn't a lot of contribution apart from a very good goal. There's some contribution, but not the sort of we scored 30-odd goals last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think this leads us really nicely onto Troy Deeney.
Yeah.
Have you seen? I'm guessing you have both seen his outburst, or if you want to call it whatever you want to call it, is public criticism of his players after. Obviously, he's gone in there as manager. He was player. He's gone in there. Is he still calling himself player coach? I feel like he might be.
Yeah.
I feel like we might see him on the pitch again at some point. I'd love to get from both of you, aspects. Mark, what did you make of his outburst?
Well, I'm totally fine with that sort of stuff. If I'm just being true to myself, a leader's got to lead in the way they think is right, if that makes sense, and then they'll fall down on that sword, won't they? That is ultimately it. So I think if you go into any kind of management or leadership, you're better off being yourself and then winning or losing based on what you think works. He obviously felt the need to call them out, and for me, he's in charge. He's the boss. He can do that. A lot of fans, I'll say one thing, a lot of fans want that, because
all the time.
Yeah. When the fans, when the single mum spent, the housekeeping, taking her little boy to the game, and they're driving back freezing cold, and they're eating corned beef hash because they've done all their dough, and they can't understand why hearing that interview might just cheer up. Yeah, listen to this. He's fuming, right? And I've done it a few times myself. So for me, I think people prefer personality. Whether he gets results from it, that's to be seen. But they'll always, typically the old brigade come out, don't they? You can't say that, you can't do that. Well, but I tell you what, he fucking can. And he did. And he's paid to do it, and they're paid to listen. And that's how it is.
And when we're talking about somebody coming out passionately and saying, you're not good enough, which what the supporters want to hear.
Mm.
The supporters, you can't pull the wool over the supporters' eyes. You can for a while, but you need to come out and say, look, just not good. Now, the problems you're facing at Forest Green boil down to, like everybody else's problems, the recruitment at Forest Green were brilliant. They get up into League
One maybe at some point, yeah.
Right. Then the recruitment becomes poor and they drop down to League 2, and now we're going to drop down maybe out the league again. So the owner has to take responsibility for that, because I know the owner made a massive commitment to Duncan Ferguson, but never listened to him. He listened to his director of football he decided to employ from Brentford, who I don't believe he's there anymore. And so he lost a great manager, a great personality, who, believe you me, knew everything about football there is to know, who wanted to be successful in his first manager's job, but got totally blown over by the fact he couldn't sign any of his players. Yeah. And now, the aftermath of that, Duncan leaves, rightly so, because he can't do the job he wants to do, which is a big, brave decision, by the way. And the football club is still falling apart by the fact that they've done all these things in the wrong direction, where I don't know how long he's had the club, but previous to that, all the football club has grown. It's come down from the leagues like you and gone up the leagues and got into League One, Forest Green. I mean, that was one major achievement.
Huge success story.
Huge success story. Now you've got the opposite. Now the owner has to look at himself and support the manager you got now. Turn the players round you need to turn round and start going back in the right direction again, which is a difficult job once the rot's set in. Because now they're down the bottom of the league last year, now they're down the bottom of this league, and that rot is set in. That takes a lot of turning round. So, let's see where they go at the end of the season.
I don't know how anybody was surprised either, by the way. If you're hiring Troy Deeney as your manager, you know what he was like as a player, you know, why would anybody be surprised when that's the way that he reacts? But he came out and apologised, which I thought, I kind of wish he hadn't. I wish he'd have just stood by.
Well, it's just down to the society today, isn't it? Yeah. If people have gone to him and said, "Look, you can't get away with that now, Troy. Just go out and apologise. Just be careful about, what. Just don't do this and don't do that." I mean, the number of people that tell you what you can and can't say now is just unbelievable. I mean, I can't remember when I was. I think I was on Goals on Sunday with Cammy, and I said we got a massive bollocking. And they went, we would just like to apologise for what Sam said there, just in case anybody's offended.
You can't say bollocking.
And I went, this is about, God, this is not Sunderland. And I went, what, we can't use the word bollocking. And he said, well, no, you got it in the ear, don't we? Just say, sorry to, so it's a really, really difficult world to live in.
I've said the other day, it's almost like I need to do an annual government memo through your letterbox. So every year you can read it and go, right, this year. So last year that was all right. Right, this year got to amend that to this. No one knows. If you have an age, I see loads of people of an age all the time that honestly, I'm having conversations and they start slowing down or they start changing their words. Can I say that? What do I say? Do I mean this by it? That is, it's hard. It is hard right now. The world's changed.
But too many few people change. It's where the majority is too scared to speak now.
Yeah.
The majority are thinking this is rubbish, but are too scared to speak about it.
100%.
So we're letting the minority change the culture, and we shouldn't.
I'd vote for you to be Prime Minister.
I say this all the time.
Yeah.
He's very left.
I'll go as your, what's it called, deputy. That'll do me.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
With your experience.
Yeah.
I'm happy to
Can
be
I be
deputy.
like press secretary or something?
Yeah,
I'll keep them all in charge.
Yeah.
Vote Sam. I've been saying this for a while. Apparently Troy Deeney is a fan of yours. Apparently he has been very complimentary of you. Would you, if he came to you for some advice?
Always open, because when it happened to me, there was always somebody like Dave Bassett, Howard Wilkinson, Sir Alex, Jim Smith. They you would pick the phone up to them. They would talk to you. You'd ask them like, what, how'd you go on and what do you do, like you mean, and how do I get by, like you mean, and they'd say, well, you got to try this one. How do you handle the board? How do you, be careful? Give us a ring if you need a player. I might have one loan for you. Get you out the shit. You know what I mean? And all those things that I got response to. Like it's in my nature for me to be just as positive to anybody else who's making their way through the system to try and get into the coaching or management position. Like I mean, so Troy, if you're listening, all the very best, mate. And I'm here on the phone if you need me.
There we go. Is it true you were going to pick him for an England squad?
Yeah, I think we talked about it. We talked about always thought about what's available. There's certain frowns at certain areas of the FA when you watch the face and you go, oh God, oh no, how much influence do they really want on you picking? The suggestion of would that be the right thing to do, Sam? I'm not saying specifically about Troy Deeney, about any or anybody that was generally outside the squad that they felt wasn't the right sort of choice. Whereas me, it was who's the best at that particular time, who's playing really, really well.
Which is what I thought Venables done.
Yeah.
96. I think that's what he done brilliantly. He just went, who's playing really well? Nicky Barmby was playing in there and stuff like that. And that's what the fan wants as well, isn't it?
Who's on top of the game at the time? Like, I mean, let's get him in amongst it, see whether they can live with it, cope with it, you know what I mean?
Love that. Hopefully Troy Deeney you'll have to give us an update on next time, Sam.
Well, he's had a great career, and he's seen so many managers that he can draw upon, good and bad. Of course, he'll obviously say that, and he's got to use his own knowledge now, and what he's got to be is his own man. And you can't copy anybody. You can learn from them, but you can use some of the stuff that you've learned from them, and you can do some of the stuff that you would never do the way you got treated.
So, No Tippy Tappy Football is indeed our podcast. Sam chose the name of the podcast, Mark, because it's very much what Sam believes in. What is your philosophy on No Tippy Tappy Football? Where do you stand on it? Or Tippy Tappy Football?
Well, I mean, if it kind of... Obviously, football now is more on the deck and more technical, right? Okay, yeah. But for me, the meaning of No Tippy Tappy Football means no... kind of like almost no fanning about, no pissing about, no messing about, no, just get on with it, be a man about it, be a woman about it, whatever that looks like, That's kind of my mentality is pretty much on that route, if I'm honest. That's what it means to me.
It's an A to B with as much quality as you can, as quick as you can. So, it's quite a simple game, and it's always been a simple game. And the talent of the player is your decision on how much emphasis you put on the talent of that player. And when I say talent, the talent as a defender, the talent as a midfield player, and the talent as a forward. So, as Brian Clough would say, what you doing in there, son? You're a winger, stay on the wing. That's what we employed you for. We employed you to get crosses so people can score goals. Like, I mean, now... the winger is not a winger. He's to come inside and enter a system, maybe score goals, fine. If that's what you're looking for. But what you buy a player for that position to promote his strengths, not to weaken them.
I like your Brian Clough impression. Very good.
What a man.
Yes,
what a man.
Good.
Really good.
Mark, would straightforward, straight question. Would you ever sack yourself?
Yes.
What would it take?
Failure.
What's failure?
He's never failed yet.
Great question. We're sort of 2-3 places off relegation though. Never been relegated in club history. Had it last year as well. We was one off it, and then we hit this incredible run, and ended up mid-table. I don't know. Difficult because
what's it going to take to get you out of trouble now? Then?
Just had a bit of bad luck with injuries and stuff. I think we'll crack on soon, but
yeah.
I think it's difficult because even if we were down, I mean, everyone's full-time bar us and one other team and all the teams on relegation zone are full-time teams. Technically, is it failure if you end up struggling when you've got less resources, less time? I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but I'd have no hesitation in getting rid of myself. What I would say is we've got one big issue in our club, right? It's a big issue. We've never once, and it's the biggest failing of the club, never once got to the FA Cup, even first round proper. Now, to the point where it's that big a failure, we actually come into the competition where we only need to win one game.
What now?
Now.
And you've not done it? How long? How many years?
3 years we've had that, right? So I was going to say, and I'm...
And what sort of teams you've been drawn against? Is it the chance of winning?
Every time. Every time. This year we drew a team 2 leagues below.
Oh,
right? Okay? I'm fucking shit.
Sack them,
right? I can't work it out. So I'm saying, Sam, genuinely, and I'm being honest, I'm being serious. If you're not working next season, would you take that one game?
One game.
Would you think about that? Would you think about that? Because
I'm not sure I'll take the game. Might come and watch it.
You know, just
I'll come in the dressing room for you.
Just do something. Just bring us a little. Just change it up. I've tried everything. I've tried, lucky jackets, lucky shoes. I've tried the approach, put the pressure on the game, take the pressure off the game. You name it.
Yeah.
Sam in the dressing room in the game to get into the FA Cup.
First round, yeah. Our fans would be really appreciative because our fans are just like, we might as well not even enter. There's no point.
But Sam,
well, you've got to avoid relegation first, haven't you? So
true. Yeah, we'll see.
Because who did we have on that said they let the kit man do a talk once? Was it you, or was it you?
Pete Williams, West Ham, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. The players are. We come in at half time, like you mean, and players are moaning about the fans giving them some stick, like you mean, and all that, like you mean. So Pete's going, what the on about, Gaffer? It's their own fucking fault, like you mean. I said, go on, tell him, Pete.
Don't tell him, mate. Yeah.
Go on, tell him. He went, right. And I didn't expect him, like, hey, you fucking lot. With his.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
His South London accent, like, get your ass in here. They're only booing you because you're shit. So get out there and don't be shit and get your play better. And then they won't boo you. People walking off like Pete, brilliant, mate.
They need a different voice sometimes.
Absolutely fantastic.
Bunch of amateurs, no tippy tappy crossover.
I'll let the chairman go in once, Crystal Palace.
Yeah. I'll come in if you want.
Told him, Steve Parish.
Okay.
Yeah, passionate Crystal Palace fan. Passionate Crystal Palace fan. We got beat by our relegation neighbours, Sunderland, at home. 3-0, I think it was, at home. And he was going mental like me. And I just went, all right, come on. Get in there and tell him. So he went in and, he gave him the roasting of all roastings. Like, he'd gone right into how much money they want, was after the money and stuff like that. Like, so it was a brilliant, brilliant piece of 10 and 15 minutes of him. It was more for him than it was for the players to get rid of his frustration, to have the opportunity to tell him face to face what he thought of him.
Yeah,
like, and them having to take it on the chin. This is the owner. This is the man who, who loves, who's passionate about the football club, and doesn't want the football club to get relegated, and didn't believe that you did enough today to try and stop that. So he told them, like, so that was those decisions you have to make it instantly as the manager that you consider to be the right decision. I take the risk, because some people go, oh, that's a bit risky, innit? But without risk, there's no reward sometimes, like So, it was obviously something I remember that could have got backfired the wrong way, but went the right way, because obviously we didn't get relegated that year.
It reminds me of this time. Very different. No correlation whatsoever, but it reminds me of this time. I like going around different local clubs, so I always have. I like been to watching them. Like to go and watch different local non-league clubs. And about 12 years ago, I went to watch a Hyde United game. And then Hyde United were in dire straits at the time. They were going to get relegated. And somebody tweeted me saying, I saw you at Hyde United. If we can win up and stay afloat, will you come and do a team talk in a bikini? So this is about 12 years ago. So obviously I just replied saying, of course I will. If I'd stay up, I will come and do a team talk with a bikini. Lol, 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 lol. Just thought it was a joke. Ended up on the full back page of the local newspaper. And then the manager got asked in a press conference if he was going to let me come and do a team talk in a bikini. It was literally a throwaway comment.
Yeah.
Throwaway comment. I never went. I never did.
I don't
talk.
blame you.
There we go. Yes, I'm a professional woman these days, Sam. So you would sack yourself.
Yep.
Would you go somewhere else if you got headhunted by another club?
No
Let's say
chance.
a Rochdale, an Oldham, a big club that's come down.
I had a few league clubs before they realised I owned the club. Not so much the last couple of years, but 3-4 years ago and stuff. But no chance. Yeah, no chance. This is our little journey. Do you know what I mean? So just see what happens. I must admit, I'd love to be able to be. I'd love to be in a changing room with some of these boys earning all that money and to really give them some stick and to draw the real footballer back out of them and get them to forget this fancy life and, you know, get them to have that winning mentality. I'd love to be around that, have that opportunity like Sam's had in it with what he's done. But I don't think that'll be my journey somehow. It's going to be Dorking Wanderers till I die.
Forever.
One club man.
Yeah.
And I think your fans would be disappointed as well. Is it true?
I think the club would go under if you didn't.
Yeah, possibly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you start planning for somebody to take over eventually, who's got the same sort of beliefs for the football club and the passion as you've got. Like you mean, because it's clearly your football club, and you know you've got a lot of people that make a massive contribution, but you know you're the head man, aren't you?
Yes, loads of great people around us though. But yeah. I guess that's got.
Well, that's you've picked them, don't you? You've seen them come in. You've worked with them. You know that they've got the football club at heart, and that's why it's successful. Like I mean, people management, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you put money behind the bar at away games for your fans?
Yeah, home games as well for the away fans. Yeah,
home games?
all the time. Yeah. So we'll just say, I mean, to the point where sometimes I'll drive it round and drop it into a few pubs in the town before the game. So. If they sell out a certain amount, or we like them, you know, Oldham come down and we'll just maybe drive £1,000 around the local pubs and we'll let them know where it is. Done it a few times. But that's just us being, I may sound stupid, but we just really appreciate anyone watching us. Like, it might be Oldham. It
Up
could
in
be
your gate a bit, yeah.
It could be these big clubs. But we had one man and his dog and not even the dog for years. So we just appreciate that, and that's what we do.
Is that out of your own pocket as well?
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's an expensive gig running a football club, but we I mean, we do it all the time. Like when did we get Hartlepool? We beat Hartlepool actually. Beat Hartlepool. We had a great time. Their fans abused me so much, and it was brilliant. Because that's, to me, I'm like, you're gonna have to be fucking good you'll have to be good to beat me, and we had a brilliant time, me and their fans. Do you know what I mean? I won, hands down. If it's a boxing match, I'd have fucking thrown a towel in, right? And we beat them 2-0. And I was so happy. I saw one of the supporters. I said, listen, James, come here, mate. I go to, here's 400 quid. Get the coach a Burger King. Right? Just coming to my head. I was so happy. And I was thinking in my head, I want a Burger King. Right, yeah. Because that makes me happy. I thought, I want them to be happy. Get the coach a Burger King on the way back. And I see all these tweets going, thanks, Mark, for our Burger King. But that's just, I'm just really appreciative of people that watch us, I think. Yeah.
We might have a battle here because you like Burger King. We already know Sam likes some McDonald's.
Oh, really?
Talked about it,
Yeah.
Trade-off, indeed, yeah. Maybe we'll get some freebies. I love that. And I bet they just, they love it back and it'll grow and Well,
it's just our little thing, and we've had some tough times recently this season, last season, and we're trying to find our feet in the league we're in is pretty much an extension of the Football League. It's massive clubs in there, Chesterfield, etc. Yeah. And we don't, to a degree, we don't belong, but we do.
How many of them are full time?
22.
Of the 24.
24, yeah. And, you know, there's a lot of money about, a lot of resources, some great ex-Football League managers all over the place. It really is. Like, and also, the teams now that do well in this division automatically end up in the top 5, the one above the season after. Very close in level. So, it's been tough times. And I always want our fans and all the followers to understand that is just the gig with us. You have to get behind it, and we have to find a way. It's not a case of get a new manager, get a new owner. This is Dorking Wanderers, and we've got where we are way quicker than we'd hoped for, and now we've got to find a way through it. Not easy.
It's just wonderful. I'm going to really keep a proper eye out for you. For
want a
your
Burger
scores,
King?
and I want to come down and get a Burger King,
that's what
for
it is,
definite, for definite. Before we go on, so we always finish the pod with quickfire questions. Is there anything else football-wise you want to get off your chest this week? Because we were talking about Burnley's VAR, or
I'm not so sure. We've had such great fun whether I should bring it up, but it is just on the basis of what we're seeing. It was a horrendous decision not to disallow that goal that they scored, Luton, in the last minute. It's like more of a foul on the goalie than I've ever seen a goalie foul not given. And then, to have VAR and 5 minutes go by, obviously listening to the manager after, and he couldn't hold back he did very well holding back some of his emotions, but what he said was, you could see how much he was hurting on the basis that he'd been cheated, really. And that's what it was. He'd been cheated out of 3 points.
I don't quite understand why anyone has to hold back in him. They say, I'm not an advocate,
It's cost you 10 grand.
No, I understand. No, I understand the outcome.
And then the next time it would be, based on your earnings, it could be 20, 30 or 40.
No, I get it. I mean, I've had it, I get it constantly. But my point is that I just feel like, as long as it's done in a controlled way. I see a clip of Paul Dorking.
Yeah.
Someone put a clip online the other week. Paul Dorking had been interviewed after a Premier League game, would have been definitely your river, Sam. And he was saying, they said, Paul, how do you think you've got on today? It's unbelievable. I thought it was fake. How'd you get on today, Paul? He went, he goes, I'm gutted with that second goal. He goes, I got it wrong. He goes, I'm gutted. And he was clearly gutted. And I go, the first goal, he goes, no. He goes, no, I got that right. He goes, but I'll be honest, my day's ruined. I buggered up the second goal. I tell you what, I'd love to see that, wouldn't you? Any football fan in the world would go, you're okay then, mate. That's fine.
They don't do it. None of them do it on purpose.
No, exactly.
The referee did that.
None of them.
The referee, Paul Dorking, it's available online. Brilliant. I think the reporters have just collared him after the game, and he's actually spoke out about making a mistake. But the point was so refreshing. But for me, as long as the manager should be at the end of the game in a controlled way, I don't believe that decision's right. This is why this type of decision is really hurting Premier League football. They should be able to speak out for fear of being fined. It's a democracy. People can speak. The FA very much, they try to do it to me all the time, constantly. I'm on the friends and family list on at Wembley. Their way around not getting things right is to stop people talking.
Absolutely,
that's what they do.
That's what they try and do.
So if we
try and suppress it,
they suppress it all. So, and that's what. And I've had that out with them as well. And I said to them, they need to understand that they're culpable as a manager.
Even if the referee's wrong, I don't know about now because it's been a long time since I've been up. But even if the referee's wrong and you're right, they still won't admit it.
Never.
And they will. The best you'll get away with, you're warned to your future conduct. They won't say that the referee was wrong and you were right. They'll just say you're warned about your future conduct and you don't get fined. So it's a real. You go to. I've been to so many tribunals in terms of this, and had the rules changed. My lawyers changed the rules because I decided it's a lawyer job. This. Because there's so many of them sat round the table trying to judge me at the FA on the disciplinary hearing that I thought that a lawyer could look at the evidence on both ends and see where you go. And what they did was they tried to ban that.
Yeah.
So when they had at the end of the season committee meeting, it came about that it was your representative could not be a lawyer, something like that they tried to ban you from defending yourself effectively.
Yeah, it's a pretty close shot. I mean, that Luton goal is a foul.
Hmm.
If I'm that manager at the end of the game, I'm going to want to.
But why has Howard Webb not come out and say it's a foul?
I know.
Unless he has.
No,
I've missed it.
Now, when they go to the TV screen, the match referee, they get called over. Why do none of them ever just go against it?
I know. I don't know, do you?
I can't remember one of them going, nah, not having that. I'm not on my watch. No, I think
and it encourages diving.
You know,
VAR, I told this
You
last
said
week,
that, yeah.
it encourages diving because the slightest of touch now and the players going down and taking the fall. And you can see, as a professional, you can see him on the way down before anything's going to happen. And rarely do you see a referee book them now.
no.
Have you noticed that?
They definitely let diving go now because it's so commonplace. But I'd love to see someone had the balls to go to the TV monitor
And say, no, it's not.
and say, no, I'm not putting that against my name today because I think that's a foul.
Yeah.
So I think it's a foul. I'm disallowing the goal. End of.
Yeah.
But to your point about them sticking together, the proof's in the pudding because they never ever go against what they're told. There's no point going to the TV screen half the time. No point.
Well, everybody says, doesn't it? Oh, well, that's going to be a penalty then.
Yeah, but I've never seen them once
No.
say, nah, not for me. They just go along with it. So there's no point doing it. But it'd be great to see the first. Hopefully, it's like one of your listeners can show one. I've never seen one.
I have a huge amount of respect for Webb personally, and
he's brilliant.
I sincerely hope that it's his first year, so it's a very difficult year for him. I certainly hope he has the effect that where we get a better quality of service. I won't say a better quality of service all round with the technology we've got. But like you said, he's got to go and speak out about telling them to stop changing the rules.
Thank you. Right.
Quickfire, come on.
We call them quickfire, Mark. They never are. Right. What is one non-negotiable that both of you have for your players? Non-negotiable for your players.
Timekeeping.
Got to be on time.
Yeah.
Easy. Sam?
Have to adhere to the measurements we take.
Oh, what, like round the waist?
Body fat.
Yeah.
Nutrition. Strength. Physical attributes. All monitored, all logged down, all kept a close eye on.
Yes.
I should have had his answer. That's a better answer.
Your players are eating Burger Kings.
Yeah, that's the half the battle, yeah.
Which Premier League manager would you compare yourself to?
I've never seen
Spurs.
I've never seen him on the touch line. Like if I saw a bit on the touch line, I could probably answer this one better. Like.
Yeah.
Barry Fry. Oh no, he's not Premier League.
Yeah, I was going to say no.
Neil.
Neil Warnock. Yeah.
Ange
Postecoglou.
Yeah, I'll say so.
Yes, a bit of personality.
Yeah.
Yes. Prediction for where Jose Mourinho ends up next. He got sacked and he's being linked with Premier League clubs. What do you think? Should he manage again?
I'm not so sure Jose would take a Premier League club because if he's not going to get Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Arsenal.
Done Chelsea.
Done Chelsea twice.
Yeah.
Would he go back?
I don't think he would. I don't think they'd have him back.
And finally, if you could have a night out, go for a meal with 3 other managers, what managers would you like to sit round a table with?
Oh, that's not easy. I
say dead or alive as well. You pick whoever you want.
Dead or alive? Yeah. No, I'd have to say Ferguson, 100%. All 3 for me, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Managers. I love Venables personally. Love Terry Venables just because of the stories. Terry Venables. Clough. I do. That's 3. I just like the old school sort of mentality. I think there's amazing young. I call them young, but young thinking, dynamic coaches. But that old school mentality is the leadership aspect I like.
Yeah. Well, young managers have to make their way, so they try to change or cultivate a saying or a way that nobody else has played. I get that.
Yeah.
You're trying to make your own way. There's nothing to play or no way to play any different than there was when I started in the 60s. So I started in 69 and nothing's that different apart from some rule changes like you can play the ball to your centre half in his own box, like you mean. So, but that's not really groundbreaking stuff, is it? Like you mean, they think that the sayings that the groundbreaking stuff now about some of the words that they're using is still only the same about getting in the hole rather than breaking the lines, or the low block is just defending deep. You know, the group is not a group; it's still a squad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You know, the rectangle and the triangle diversity. You know, it's just a different word for it.
Yeah,
but the game's still the same. You got to get from there to score a goal. And if you stop them going scoring there and you score there, you're going to be very successful. That's how simple it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you've got to devise the best way of getting there. But 3 managers, Fergie, Cloughie, Bill Shankly.
Oh, Bill Shankly in there. My dad would have had Jock Steen. I'll just add that in there. I was talking about him last night. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming all the way.
Thank you very much. Safe journey home.
Thank you.
Especially
in this
when
weather.
your game was cancelled.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, postponed. We appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Best of luck to Dorking Wanderers, and we will keep everything crossed that you get promoted one day and we can see the tea lady.
Yes.
The dugout.
Yes.
Yes. With a full badge.
With a yes.
And she'll wear it on
the pro license.
Yes. Sam, thank you as always. You here next week?
Pleasure. Yes.
Amazing. He is back next week. We are back next week as well. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks
please.
to all our listeners again. Thank you very much.
See you next week.
Thank you, Willie Mill.